Hare Krishna, everyone. Good evening to all of you. Namaskars. And I believe only I am person joining from US. So good morning to me. It's morning 5:10 for me in Seattle. And the temperature is quite cold, though even though it's supposed to be summer, it is about 12 degrees outside. Okay, so welcome to our Gitamritam Rasamalayam weekly sessions every Saturdays that we have. Today, of course, we are doing it on Sunday and also next three sessions. We are on session number 44 and we are discussing and studying chapter number 7, that is knowledge of absolute. So this chapter is opening a lot of insights to us to understand what Krishna is actually trying to teach us and how he's raising slow and steadily our levels. And now he has brought us to the level of bhakti. And because this is a knowledge of absolute about himself. And what more we need to know about himself from him only. It is not like from a third person. He's talking about himself. Like when you go to a company or any major corporate and you're introduced to the MD of the company, and the MD introduces about himself. So that becomes the absolute truth about himself. So in the same way, Krishna is now telling about his own self. So we take it in the absolute way, and that should actually help us for better understanding about the Lord and also about the subject that he's talking. And happily, our family is growing now in Goloka Express train. For those who are joining for the first time, this Goloka Express train is traveling to the final destination, that is Goloka Vrindavan. And it started off from the first chapter and it is moving at a good speed. It will go to chapter number 18, last chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. And today we are on the train station number 7, that is knowledge of absolute. So we love Golok Vrindavan. Why? Because every step in Golok Vrindavan is a dance. Every word that we say is a song. And every day is a festival. It's not that just on Janmashtami or on Gaura Purnima or on some of those festivals, Prabhupada appearance dates. Here, every day is a festival. Therefore, we love Goloka Vrindavan and we also love the Goloka Gitamritam Rasamalayam family. So, Krishna is teaching us in this particular passage of journey the signs of surrender. How by surrendering to him, we can shed off our beast of burden. So we'll see what is that beast of burden also. Before I proceed further, let me seek blessings from my dear Guru Maharaj, Dr. T.D. Singh, also known as His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Swami Maharaj, who was the founding director of Bhakti Vedanta Institute and also of Dr. T.D. Singh's Institute of Science and Religion, which we are able to serve. And his Samadhi Mandir is at Radhakund since 2006 that Maharaj entered into Nitya Leela. And is a very close scientific disciple, if I may say so, of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Prabhu, you have raised hand?
We were there today in the morning. I thought I must mention this.
Wow, great.
We took his blessings.
Thank you so much. And as you can see in the picture, Srila Prabhupada is always situated at the lotus feet of Sri Nityanand Prabhu, who is our Adi Guru and the source of our spiritual strength. So with these blessings, I just say the pranam mantra for both of them before we get started. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunimiltamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Swarupa Damodar Swami iti namine. Namasad Bhaktamani Manipur Udbhavaya Cha Srila Prabhupada Lasatavani Pracharini Ratayate. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desha Tarini. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So with this, we begin our journey of today's session. So we know the acronym for chapter 7, that is knowledge of absolute, is HEAD, 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 where H stands for hearing, E stands for everywhere, A stands for accepting or rejecting, and D stands for demigods. So we have completed already hearing part, where the glories or knowledge about Krishna has been discussed, and how it has been emphasized how through hearing, jnana and vijnana, one can have the knowledge as well as realization both. And this is also very, very rare. It looks like a easily available commodity for us, but trust me, this is very, very rare for a person to even take interest in understanding Krishna. So we are all belonging to the rare category. Then E, everywhere, that also we have covered from verses 4 to 12, where Krishna's all-pervasive nature was discussed. You can see Krishna in almost everything. That is through the nature beyond which, and he is beyond the three modes of nature, and how without being touched by the world, he's still maintaining the world. That is what we have seen. And then we have discussed in that passage Krishna's various energy, like material energy, spiritual energy, then marginal energy, that is jiva, etc. We have discussed. And then now we are in the third part of it, that is accept or reject A, which is from verses 13 to 19. So today we'll commence from verse 15, because up to 14 it was covered in the previous session. And then we'll also enter into D section, that is demigods, which is starting from verses 20 onwards, because we'll be covering up to 23. So we'll be definitely touching the some parts of the demigod aspects also. So we'll see what it is today, and where we can also judge for ourselves, not to judge others, but we can judge for ourselves where we belong, which category we belong to, which category of people we belong to. So all that can be very nicely understood based on the teachings of Bhagavad-Gita in this passage. So this becomes the section that we are going to discuss today, that is verses 15 to 23, is virtually, I call it the science of surrender, because this is the real science of Bhakti Yoga. Because for the simple reason that Krishna gives knowledge about himself, that is knowledge of the absolute truth, as the chapter's title also, knowledge of absolute truth. And we as sincere seekers of this knowledge get a chance to know about this knowledge perfectly. Perfectly, I say, because it is coming from the mouth of the Lord himself, lotus mouth of the Lord himself. And anything that comes out from a perfect person has to be a perfect knowledge. And we can understand from some of the examples in our scriptures that how, without meeting the person, this is very unique, like in material world, to know and understand the person, you have to meet him. Whereas here, because it is coming from the perfect person, we can actually imagine and picturize everything. about this person. So even without meeting, we can understand him perfectly. Like in Srimad Bhagavatam, we understand that how Rukmani Devi, who had never met Krishna before, but because she had just heard about his qualities, his pastimes, and she developed instant love towards him and desired to get married to him. You know, and the key here is she desired to get married to him directly and not to get married to a person like him. There's a difference between the two. Like, for example, there is another personality in Srimad Bhagavatam, and that person is um, Atre Rishi, or Atre Muni. Now, Atre Rishi comes in the fourth canto of Bhagavatam, where he was married to Anasuya. Now, he too, I mean, he's Brahma's one of the Putra sons, and Brahmaji had given him the task of procreating the world. He was, and then he desired through his purity to meditate on what? To desire a son like Krishna. He didn't desire that may I have Krishna directly as my son. So Prabhupada says, if he had desired that may Krishna, may you come as a son, then that would have become a pure devotion. But because he desired to have a son like Krishna, it is not a pure devotion. And therefore, Lord Krishna sent all the three presiding Gunavatars like Brahma, Mahesh, and Vishnu himself, like that. And then he finally got Dattatreya as one of his sons. The Durvasa Muni was also one of his sons. Just to understand, Durvasa Muni is so famous, but we have forgotten his father, Atre Rishi. So therefore, the lesson for us is that even if we don't meet, but we simply desire to see the form of the Lord, to understand the Lord pastimes, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, Ityadi, all these things, if we want to learn, then that itself will entail us to become a pure soul, which is the goal of life. And Krishna in this passage started off by saying that, Mata Parataram Nanyat Kinchit Asti Dhananjaya Mani Sarvam Idam Proktam Sutre Mani Ganaiva. So you can see here the pearls, but we are not able to see what is the cause of holding the pearls together. That's a string behind it, isn't it? And that string is what we are trying to study. But Krishna says, I am that string. Sutre, it is a string. So how nicely it is binding and giving the attraction to the pearl necklace. So this is the essence of what we should try to understand. And that's how Krishna began this particular passage. And then, of course, he spoke so many things about himself. One of my favorite things, now I'm bringing chemistry here, is that he said, I'm the taste of water. Rasamapsu Kauntaya. So that means I'm the taste of water. So what is the viewpoint of the scientists here? The scientists explore the molecular structure, molecular shape of water molecule. Okay. Where the interesting and striking thing for us to note is the bond angle. The bond angle between the two hydrogen atoms is perfectly fixed at 104.5. And scientists claim that this is the science behind the water molecule, and this is the science behind this perfect angle is actually giving the water molecule or water the taste that it is. We are enjoying the taste of water. And if you see the spiritual angle of it, what is the spiritualist viewpoint? Rasavamapsu Kauntaya, Krishna says, I am the taste in water. So that means, how do we correlate So this perfectness of this angle of 104.5, which is giving the taste, the spiritualist will view it as coming from Krishna himself. So Krishna being Om Purnamada, Om Purnamidam, Purnat Purna Udachate. He is perfect. So everything that he is creating is also perfect. There is nothing imperfect about his creation. So the way we integrate the two is that scientist also is correct and the spiritualist is even more correct, because the spiritualist says that this angle, bond angle of 104.5, is due to Krishna's own will. He decides that I'll keep this angle, because scientists say that this angle is so critical that even if it is slightly altered, if 104.5 becomes 105 or 104, then the properties of water will change, the taste will change, everything will change. So imagine, and it's not only about water, there are so many universal constants that the scientists are now discovering. No, so many universal constants are there, and each of these constants, the scientists claim that if it is altered even little, the universe will not be a place to live where we are living so comfortably. So this is the beauty, dear devotees, of this particular creation of the Lord. So Krishna says, Rasavapsu Kaunteya, I am the taste of water. See, we are enjoying the taste. And then he said that the fragrance which we are getting from earth, Prithvi, Punyo Gandha, Prithvimcha, I am the fragrance. So beautiful. I don't think there is anybody who doesn't love the fragrance of earth, especially the first rains. When it rains, first rain, that gives beautiful fragrance. And irrespective of what age group we are in, we love that taste, the fragrance. I remember when I first went to Saudi Arabia to begin my stint of my professional career there in 91, 92. That time, the first thing that struck me was the smell that is pervading in several parking areas, where the cars are parked, like in the shopping malls. There's a unique smell that comes there. And that smell is of a high grade petrol. Like in India, typically the petrol grade is octane 92 or 93. In Saudi Arabia, the refining is so much that they refine it to octane grade 98. It is ultra pure. And trust me, dear devotees, that fragrance is, even though it's petrol, that fragrance is very, very appealing. So I used to wonder in the parking lot that time, first when I went, from where this such an attractive, beautiful smell is coming. Then I understood that it is coming from the petrol, of the vehicles. It's got a unique smell. So this is the fragrance coming because of Krishna is saying that Punyo Gandha Prithvim Cha. Prithvim Cha. Then he says Teja Chasmi Vivavasoho. That is, I am the heat of the fire. Then he says Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu. I am the life of all living beings. All, not only of human beings, but Sarva Bhuteshu. All living beings, I am the life. Therefore, when we say that there is soul and super soul in all living beings, that understanding comes from what Krishna is saying right here. Then he says, of all the tapasvis, tapas chasmi, tapas vishu, I am the tapas. When people do tapasya, especially in the previous ages, in Satya Yoga, in Treta Yoga, people used to do heavy tapasya. In Satya Yoga, that was tapasya was the real way of worshipping. So when we hear that Hiranyakashipu did tapasya for thousands of years, right now we are astonished. We don't believe it because it is beyond our understanding. But it was a fact because they lived for 1 lakh years in Satya Yoga. Then gradually came down by 1/10 to 1,000 years in Treta. That again came down to sorry, it was so now it is in Kali Yuga, it is, let's say, 100 years. So 10 times 1,000 was the in previous Yuga, that is Dwapar, and 10,000 was in Treta, and then 1 lakh. 1 lakh was the lifespan in Satyuga. You can imagine people. That's why when Vishwamitra was doing meditation for 60,000 years, how he did that? That is 60% of his lifetime. That is what we have to understand. Then we understood that Krishna also mentioned that I am the original seed of all existence. I am eternal. Bijam Sanatanam. Bijam Mam Sarva Bhutanam, he says. Then he says, I am the Buddhir of all the Buddhimatman. That is, I am the intelligence of all the intelligent people. And that, therefore, we say that Vyasadev, who is the original writer of Srimad Bhagavatam and several of our Vedic texts, he is the literary incarnation of the Lord himself. Or you can say Shakti Avesh avatar. Similarly, Narada Muni is considered to be the Shakti Avesh avatar of Kirtans, that is singing the glories of the Lord. Prithu Maharaj was the Shakti Avesh avatars for administration, one of the most able kings ever. Similarly, among the normal human beings, mundane human beings, the strength, the talents, singing, beauty, powerful, fame, wealth, etc. If somebody is having that in exceptional way, that is coming from Krishna. Krishna says, I am that. Similarly, Tejas Vinam. That means I am the prowess of all the powerful men. We have seen in the Surya dynasty, Surya Vamshi, and in Chandra dynasty, that is lunar dynasty, there have been several kings in the past, also the Mahajans. So they all got the prowess. That prowess is coming from the Lord himself. So in other words, just in a simple way, he explains that just by the raw material energy gets converted into the manifestation of divinity. The energy gets transformed by just the presence of Krishna. The divinity will automatically. So so basically, in spiritual life, we say we are practicing spiritual life. It is not rejection of the material life, but it is actually purification for us, because we are aligning to the will of the Lord. That is what we are doing. Therefore, Krishna says, I am the strength of the strong. Balam balavatam chaham. Kama raga vivarjitam. That means I am that strength who is devoid of passion, raga, and desire. Kama. Dharma aviriddo bhuteshu kamosmin bhartarishapa. That means I am that sex life which is not contrary to the dharmic principle. So where does that procreation ability comes for a man, for a human being, or for any living being? That is coming from Krishna. If it is performed in an act of sacrifice or following the principles of dharma. Contrary to that, it is not Krishna, it is sense gratification. So then from there, Krishna brought us to the point of the great human divide. That means we human beings, unlike the other living beings, have a choice to pursue between, to take decisions, because we have got the intellect. We can choose between taking this path, spiritual path, or taking the path of materialism. And Krishna says very clearly in verse number 14, he says that Daivi Haisha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Mayam Etam Tarantite. So here he declares very boldly and openly that this material energy, which we are all in the clutches of, is actually my own energy, Mama Maya. And then he says it is very Duratya, it's very, very difficult to cross over, because in other words, this material energy composing of the three modes of material nature, that is Sattva Guna, mode of goodness, Rajaguna, mode of passion, and Tamas Guna, this mode of ignorance. These three are binding an individual into performing various kind of activities. And despite our best efforts, we are not able to cross this because it is very, very strong. We are in the clutches. As you can see in the picture, this material energy is trying to make us puppets by pulling the strings and making us do certain things. Prakriti kriyamanani guna karmani sarvasha. So that is the essence here. And then Krishna also tells in this verse that mam eva ye prapadyante, the one who is surrendering unto me, maya metam tarantite. Then only such a person can easily transcend or break the cycle of this material energy, which means we can cross and then come out of the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. That is the goal, dear devotees. We are all putting these efforts to learn Bhagavad Gita is mainly to come out of this cycle of birth, death, old age, because several lifetime, millions and billions of lifetimes we have had birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, punarti janmam, punarti marnam. We are going this way completely. And finally, we have come to a stage of this crossroads. Now we have the intelligence to know, okay, in this life I understood, I've got some knowledge, I've got some wonderful association, and they are giving certain guidance based on realization. Pure souls have come, God sent to us, the acharyas have come, they are giving us the message, like Bhagavad Gita as it is. And we devotees are trying to help each other through Gita Amritam Rasamalayam, where we are once again re-emphasizing the teachings. Because the whole thing is we have to remind ourselves, because we, the Jivatma, we are oscillating between Bahiranga Shakti and Antaranga Shakti. And constantly we are oscillating between spiritual and material energy. And we are getting attracted towards the material energy because of the complete covering that we are having. So this is the essence that we have covered till now. And now we move to the first verse of the day, that is verse number 15, 7.15 we are on, where Krishna talks about what kind of people are they who reject his authority, or in essence, who reject Krishna. Namam duskritino muda prapadyante naradamaha mayaya parata jnana asuram bhavam ashritaha. So here Krishna is saying he's giving a classification or category of people, who are not willing to accept the authority of Bhagavad Gita, who are not willing to accept the authority that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. That means whatever Krishna has spoken till now, I am this, I am that, they reject everything. So in one sense, you can say they are decrying the existence of the Lord himself. I mean, like, they just say that everything is happening by chance. How did this existence come about? It's Big Bang theory. There was a Big Bang, and as a result, the various under favorable circumstances, the various chemicals, they got together, and the primordial soup of all the living beings, that is the amino acids, DNA, RNA, all those things came about by the suitable interaction of chemicals at the appropriate favorable time, and that facilitated the creation of living beings. That is what the theory of scientists is. Whereas spiritually say this is a big vision, not Big Bang, but it's a big vision. And therefore, they are able to correlate that with what Krishna is saying. So Namam Duskritino Muda. So who are this? Krishna says these are the miscreants. So Duskritino means basically they are miscreants. So primarily you can see that Kritino means people who are pious people. Kritino is Sukruti. That is, you have accrued some pious credits. So Kritinos are basically people who are pious, and Duskritino are opposite of that. They are miscreants. So these people, Krishna says, are Muda. First thing he says, they're Muda. Muda means grossly foolish. Second thing he says, they are Naradamaha. That means they are, Nara means human being, and Adama, Ada is basically something that is low, like something that is below you is Adava, Ada. So Narada or Narada is basically lowest among mankind. Then Maya Aparataha Jnana. That means Aparata is something that is stolen, and Maya means the energy of the Lord, that is the material energy. So there are people whose knowledge or their intelligence is stolen by Maya. What a tragedy that is seen. They have knowledge, they know how to make intelligence enough to make bomb, technology, etc. But they cannot understand that the knowledge has been stolen to such an extent that beyond this they cannot understand that there is a creator also. So they are actually Maya Apagrata Jnana. And the fourth category are people who are
7:15.
Yeah, somebody's mic is on. Can you kindly unmute? I can't see the person. Can you kindly mute, please? Okay, thank you. So the fourth category is in this four types, that is in Duskritina, is Asuram. Asuram are typical atheist, demons. They are directly they'll reject the authority, like Hiranyakashipu, Ravana. Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, even the modern, I would say, philosophers, scientists, etc. You find several of them. They do research. They do so much, advancement. They think that this is everything. That they are so powerful that they cannot conceive that there is somebody who is more powerful. That there is a creator behind creation. They cannot conceive that. So that makes them, in the atheistic category also. There are so many such people. And in fact we see so many people, especially in Kali Yuga, with the people with we interact. Kisne dekha hai isko sab. So why to believe all that? So they tag seeing is believing. Have you seen God? So then why are you believing in God? They cannot see that God is present in water, the taste in water. That reminds me, I have to drink water. They cannot see that the natural light is coming from sun, which is considered to be one of the eyes of the Lord. Similarly, in the night, so cooling moonlight is there, from which the taste and vegetation is coming. They are not able to see all that. So as a result, they are basically very selfish natured people, and they cannot pursue any spiritual goals because they reject the authority. So now let us try to understand these four categories of Duskritinos a little bit more in depth. You can see the four quadrants: Mudas, Naradamas, lowest among the mankind, then Maya Pratagyana, the deluded speculators, and Asuri Bhav, that is the demons. So Mudas, Srila Prabhupada explains, they can be compared to the ass. Ass means donkey. You can see that the donkey is characterized to carry loads, which translates into, the burden that we all carry in our own way. And many a times, actually, the donkey is categorized as a foolish animal. Why? Because it thinks that unless it carries the load and obeys the master, it will not be able to get the carrot that is dangling in front of it, or the grass which is found everywhere. It can get wherever it can go, but it thinks that unless it obeys the master, it cannot get that. So it's all about working. The ass works tirelessly day and night, carrying the burden it cannot consume. So this, dear devotees, is nothing but the burden of beast. We have seen in our own cases, we have gone through phases and we still go through. Sometimes we think that, oh, I have to do this, I have to go do that work, I have to do this work. And then I end up working extremely hard, full day and night. And 90% these are all self-created work only, self-created duties only. And we don't know for whom we are working so hard. And by the time we realize that this is what I have done for all these years, it is time to retire. So why didn't this awakening come in the prime age? Because of lack of knowledge, avidya. And after working, day and night with hard labor, just for the sake of satisfying myself for meager rewards, small rewards. In the process, I undergo so much of suffering. And suffering comes in different form. Donkey works day and night and then tries to enjoy sense gratification with the female donkey, only to get himself kicked by the hind legs of the female donkey. And we have undergone all this tokers, left, right, center, wherever we go, we have only got rejections, toker, from all quarters. Sometimes from the own family members, sometimes from the society, sometimes from your own kids and kins. There are so many reels coming out now where the elders have been thrown out of the house and they are homeless by their own children, for whom the parents work so hard day and night to raise them. But when the children become big, like the parents become a baggage for them. That's when the relation comes. This doesn't happen for all, mind you, but it does happen. Because otherwise the reels will not come out. People are undergoing all these things. So that is basically the beast of burden they carried. And the donkey has a strange way of communicating through braying. And sometimes even if it is singing a poem, we will not know, because it is braying so badly that we get irritated and we throw stones at it. People hit the donkey with the sticks. That is exactly our story. We think we are doing well in our areas of philosophy or poetry or whatever, but ultimately we are just braying, and this braying is disturbing others. When we are hearing the mundane news, the mind becomes so much flickering, and as a result, sometimes we become more and more foolish, that we get more and more drawn towards this mundane news, and then we go away from Krishna in the process. So the Muda exhausts their life energy to secure temporary material gains. They may get some, a good house to stay, cars, flashy cars, and very opulent lifestyle. But how long can you enjoy that? It's temporary. And they forget the real purpose and goal of human life. They forget that they are eternal souls. So therefore, they are really foolish, fruity worker. So that is the plight. That's why Prahlad Maharaj, in his prayer to Lord Nrsingadev in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, he says, "My dear Lord, I am not worried about myself," because he knows he's already purified himself from all these kind of unnecessary attachments. But I'm trying to lift the false burden of so-called family and society, and of these kind of foolish peoples. He's more concerned about others. That is what is one of his prayers. Yasyatma buddhi kunapet dhatuke. That means a person who tries to think that he is composed of bile, mucus, and this air, and nothing beyond that, he is the biggest fool. Janeshu abhineshu sa eva gokhara, Prabhupada says. This is Prahlad Maharaj's teachings. So gokhara is nothing but cow and asses. He is no better than a cow and ass. So this is actually our story of our life. Throughout the life, we are carrying the burden of beast, And then we question ourselves at the end of the life when there is nothing further to be done. That time we think what I have achieved, and all this kind of thought comes. That's time when wisdom comes. So basically, wisdom can come at a younger age also. Prahlad was only 5, and he was giving this nice enlightening talks to his own school friends. How did he get that? Because he got the realization at that age. He showed interest in his mother's womb itself, Kayadu, because he heard the teaching of Lord Narad Muni, his mother. So he picked up from there. So we have to be wise. We should. I'm not saying that we should reject all the work that we are doing, because we have got a material body, so we need to preserve the body. But we should know the art of balancing between material activities and spiritual activities. Somewhere there has to be a proper balance. It cannot be lopsided that for the next 30, 40 years, I'm going to do only material activities. There's no time for me to even think about Krishna. What sort of life is that? And when I realize it, it's too late. My senses are not perfect at that time. So this is the case of Muda. So it's very sad in one sense. So we have to rise above that. So these people cannot surrender. Then similarly, Naradamas. So Naradamas is basically, here the ideal example that I'm trying to say is Jagai Madai, because they were born in the respectable families, but they voluntarily chose to reject all the scriptural principles, dharmic principles, and that in turn is basically epitomizing the Naradama condition in the age of Kali. You can see people around us, how many of them believe in the scriptures nowadays? For them, it is morning to evening work, and then evening, once the sun sets, then you take up the bottle and you enjoy life by drinking, merrily, and then eat non-veg food to supplement that and enjoy life, in some other ways also. So these are categorized as lowest among mankind because they fail to use the human form, which has been so rare. Out of 8.4 million, only 4 lakh out of the 8.4 are getting the opportunity to become human beings. And that realization doesn't come. So they are really Naradama. Then Maya Aprata Jnana. So this is also a very sad case of people like great philosophers, scientists and scholars. They are highly educated, dear devotee. They're educated. There's nothing wrong with them. You find so many of well qualified people, highly respected people in the society, but yet their real knowledge is misdirected. And ultimately, it can say that it is stolen. The real knowledge is stolen because they fail to recognize the authority of the Supreme. It is like the analogy given here is like a high-powered computer. The computer's got all the capabilities and different features, but if it is connected from the main server, what is the point? What is the use? So this is exactly the case of Maya Partha Jnana people. They are empowered with so much of knowledge. I mean, give to another example. Let's say there's a prisoner in a jail. His real objective should be how to come out of the prison. So instead of that, if the prisoner is ending up doing a PhD on the wall of the structure, of the jail, you see the entire tenure of his lockup period in the jail, he is doing research on how this wall is made, how it is so strong, why we are not able to come out of it, when it will open. It's a research he's doing on that. He's having knowledge, but it's used for the wrong purpose. Instead, if that knowledge is used to how to come out of this jail, that will have been wiser for him. So these are the people whose real knowledge is stolen away by Maya. The mundane philosopher sometimes even scholars of Bhagavad-Gita are there. They speak Bhagavad-Gita, big Bhagavad-Gita's thing, but they're scholarly, but without devotional component. So they're speculators. when Krishna says, when Bhagavad-Gita says Bhagavan Vacha, they will say, oh, see, Krishna is saying Bhagavan Vacha. That means Krishna is a human being and Bhagavan is the ultimate, Brahman, or maybe the energy. And from energy came the energetic. How stupid that understanding is. That is, Krishna clearly says, these are all my energy. Daivi Asha Gunamai. So these are all my energy. That means he is the source. That they are not able to understand. So therefore they are completely misled, and they mislead other people also. No other agenda. They have no agenda of God also. And the fourth category in this category of Duskritam is Asuram. These are openly atheistic people like Hiranyakashipu, very powerful like Ravana, but they straight away reject the authority, completely demonic in nature. So their principle is to deny, defy, deride, demolish, or whatever you may call, oppose God, and then they think they are themselves equally powerful, so they can take their position. Why Krishna has to be supreme? Envious. They are envious. Why Krishna? Why Vishnu has to be powerful? I am equal to him. I am also powerful. I am also God, like that. So that Asuric Bhav. Then in verse 16, 7.16, Krishna says there are 4 types of pious seekers whom he calls as Sukritina. So with this we understood Sukriti is something pious, when you accrue pious. So in that, these 4 people, pious people, 4 categories of pious people are there who begin their journey, devotional journey. So who are they? Chaturvidha bhajante mam janaha sukritino arjuna. These 4 people are Artho Jigyasur Artharti Jnani cha Bharata Rishabha. So these 4 people are the four kinds of pious men who begin their devotional service unto me are the distressed. Artho are the people who are distressed. Then Jigyasur are the people who are inquisitive. Then Artharti are the people who desire wealth, or in any other form, position, power, fame. Then Jnanis. Jnanis are the seekers of the ultimate knowledge of Vedas. For example, the knowledge of absolute truth. These 4, Krishna says, oh, best among the Bharatas, Bharata Rishabha, they come. So you had the 4 categories before, Duskritina, now the 4th category of Sukritina. So these 4 are actually people who are believers in Krishna, and they begin their spiritual journey. So why does Krishna very intelligently put Jigyasur? One may ask, between Artho and Artharti. Jigyasu is sandwiched between Artho and Artharti. So some of the acharyas, they comment that this Artharti, see, basically what is Artho? Artho are the distressed people, and Artharti are the people seeking wealth. So at some stage, both these, that is, people who are distressed and the people who are desiring wealth, they tend to be inquisitive. They tend to understand the philosophy. So therefore, they become Jigyasu at some stage. That's the progression they make. So Jigyasu, that's why he has put Jigyasu, inquisitive. So now the question is, are they pure, all these 4 categories? Srila Prabhupada answered that, saying that they are not pure, but they have the potential to become pure. Because to become pure, one has to be completely free of any attachments to material things or material attachments, even attachment to Rupa Goswami beautifully explains this in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the definition of what is the Uttama Bhakti or pure devotion or pure devotional service. He says Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, Anya Abhilasha Shunyam. That means virtually there has to be no Abhilash of what? Jnana Karma Adi Anavritam. Jnana and Karma. You have to be completely free of material desires and also of Jnana. Jnana means you're seeking knowledge, but for sense gratification. You want to know this, you want to know that, but not for serving the Lord. So anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karma anavritam anukulena krishna no anukulena shiranam bhaktir uttamam. So anukulenam is something that is what is favorable, to do bhakti of Krishna. That is uttama bhakti. That is what he says. So only such people who are devoid of fruitive activities or philosophical speculation, or they desire to serve the Lord for unconditionally, without any material profit or gain in their mind. Many times we feel, what is the benefit I'm going to get? I'm learning all this, but what is the benefit I'm going to get out of this? That is not purity, sign of purity. So here you can see the various examples, artha, the distressed, when these examples are from the scriptures only. So artho means basically one who is in extreme distress or pain, and therefore he wants to be freed from that pain or dukkham. So there can be different types of dukkham for people. Some may be dukhi because of health issues. Some may be dukhi because of family disputes or property disputes. Some may be dukhi because of job-related problems. Some may be dukhi because of poverty condition. They are not able to meet the two ends together. Some may have personal relationship problem with spouse, friends, children. Some may be under the vicious attack of the enemies. So different types. Some may be recovering from an accident. So different types of distress people may have. We cannot speculate. There may be so many reasons. But the worst distress that ever has come in the history of our creation is the one that is depicted uh, of the story of Gajendra. Gajendra was such an opulent king, king elephant, as you say, that virtually the whole, animal kingdom was under his control, until he was once bitten in the feet by a crocodile. And even at that time, he thought, I am so strong, I can help myself. And after some stage, he thought that even if I cannot help myself, my family members will pull me out. My wives are standing there, my children, so many people are there outside, they will pull me out. So there was a heavy amount of ego coming out of the strength. And as it turned out, he could not pull out from the clutches of this deadly crocodile. And it went on for 1,000 celestial years. Celestial years, 1,000 celestial years, as per Srimad Bhagavatam. Imagine, we all have struggles in our life. A few years, maybe one lifetime, maybe several lifetimes. But here, Gajendra, in that same lifetime, for 1,000 years, he has struggled. And imagine the agony he must have gone through. And he's seeing his own family members one by one leaving him and going away, because they felt that it's a gone case now. We cannot, So at that time, he took shelter of Vishnu. He remembered his previous life of the bhakti that he had performed, and then he just plucked a nice lotus from the pond there, and he offered it to Vishnu. And he started praying with that, oh Vishnu, I have nothing more to offer, and please accept this and rescue me. No sooner he said these prayers, than Vishnu came on his Garuda Vahan and then rescued him by Sudarshan Chakra. Immediately relieved him of the pain, and then took him back to Godhead. So he was relieved from that. So when people are typically in trouble or in pain, we see that they take shelter of so many things, depending upon in which modes they are situated. Somebody may take shelter of drinking, smoking when they're in trouble. Somebody may take shelter of sex or money when they're in trouble. They feel that by When my money will solve all my problem. But that's not the case. And somebody who's in mode of goodness might try to analyze the reason, and he'll try to understand how to should I deal with it. He may approach some seniors, some like-minded people, and somebody who's in in transcendence, situated in a higher mode still, he may take direct shelter of Krishna. He knows that only Krishna can resolve my miseries. So in this way, Artha are the people who surrender to the Lord. I mean, not surrender exactly, they take to devotional service. They are not yet in the stage of surrendering, but eventually they will surrender. And Jigyasu, the example given here is like somebody who's a knowledge seeker. So Shaunaka Rishi was among the other rishis who was sitting and hearing the Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Puran from Suta Goswami. So Suta Goswami was very, very intelligent and knowledgeable. He had heard it from Sukadev Goswami, the original Bhagavatam speaker of Bhagavatam. When Sukadev Goswami was speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, Suta Goswami was present there, and Suta Goswami then narrated again to all the rishis in Naimiyasharani there, which is with Prabhupada says the present day somewhere near Lucknow, no? Near Lucknow, Naimiyasharani. So in that, Shaunaka Rishi was present, and thanks to Shaunaka Rishi, he asked so many questions. He said Shaunaka Rishi Adi, along with other rishis. So that is a sign of Jigyasu. We have so many questions, inquisitiveness. You want to know the knowledge about Lord, the desire to know about Lord. And eventually that person wants to get liberated. So it takes the assistance of the knowledge to get liberated. So he wants to go beyond Sukham and Dukkham. And he wants to know about Bhagavan. Then Artharthi. Artharthi, a classic example given in the scripture is Dhruva Maharaj. Because Dhruva Maharaj was humiliated by his own father, and he was thrown out of the house. He left his house because he did not get a place to sit on his, leave alone the throne, but also his father's lap. Uttanapad. So Dhruva Maharaj then got under the association of his teacher Narada Muni and meditated that he wants this meditation was directed towards getting a kingdom much superior, not only much superior to his father's, but even bigger than Lord Brahmaji having. So it's like a desire of a poor man becoming wanting to become ultra rich. So he practiced that, and eventually he got purified when he saw Krishna himself directly in the process. He said, "Oh Lord, I've seen you directly. I don't need anything now." But Krishna understood his mind, why he did all that, and gave him Dhruv Loka, a special planet in the material universe, but it is spiritual. It's the only planet in the spiritual world which is spiritual. So he got that. That is Artharthi. So when somebody is desiring to pray to Krishna to solve his material wealth problem, that is Artharthi. And the fourth category is Jnani. Jnanis are basically seekers of absolute knowledge, not mundane knowledge. Jnani is somebody who is seeker of absolute knowledge. So one who has understood his spiritual constitutional position eventually. He knows that Bhagavan is, the supreme. I am Jiva. My job is to take shelter of the supreme personality. So he transcends, like he can be even a worshipper of Jnani means he can be a worshipper of, he thinks that Brahman is supreme. That is the impersonal way of worshipping. So the four Kumaras of the sons of Brahma, they were classic examples of such Jnanis. Even Sukdev Goswami was a Jnani before becoming before getting purified. He became purified after hearing from his father the knowledge of Bhagavatam from Vyasadevi's father. So he became pure soul. Pure soul means somebody who worships Bhagavan. Somebody worships Brahman, that is the effulgence of the Lord, is emanating from the body of Bhagwan, is not fully pure. He is a nanny, more like a nanny. So these four categories can definitely become pure, and their chance of becoming pure is through association with pure devotees. So there's an important lesson coming. That is the when we are in danger and distress in the material world, often such situations propel us to serve as a great catalyst for spiritual awakening, provided one is pious, receptive, and humble. So this is also one of our question for reflection today. I'll post it later on at the end of the session. Each one of us can think about what situation of disturbance or distress or danger one has undergone, which has served as a catalyst actually to pursue the path of devotion. In fact, Chaitanya Charitamrita says that sadhu sanga sarva shastra kaye lava matra sadhu sanga sarva siddhi hoy. That means only even if you take a lava matra, 1/11th of a second is a lava of a 1/11th of a second of a time association with the pure souls, we become purified. That is the real hope for all these four categories. Somehow find to search a pure devotee so that we can become pure. Because a pure devotee, like let's say, we can think of our own Srila Prabhupada. When a pure devotee is speaking, his Vani is also pure. And when we hear that pure Vani, then automatically the purity sets in, our heart becomes cleansed, and then purity sets in automatically. We also become pure. That is the advantage. There's a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema. That is people who are established, Sadhya Kabunai, Shravana Shuddha Chitte, Shravana Shuddha Chitte, Karaya Uday. That means when you completely, the pure love of Krishna, the Krishna Prem, is actually eternally established in our hearts. Only when, and it cannot be gained from outside. This is situated, it's automatically sprouting in our heart. Only through pure hearing and chanting. That is what our goal should be. So the whole objective of learning this is how to transcend beyond our contaminated state and become pure. Moving on to the next verse. I will move a little fast because we have already time is going up. So verse 17. Tesham jnani nitya yukta eka bhaktir vishishyate priyo hi jnanino tyartam aham sa cha mama priyaha. So Krishna here in this verse is showing some, out of these four categories, he is showing his natural inclination towards one particular class, that is jnani. He says of these, the one who is in full knowledge means full knowledge of him, Krishna, and who is always engaged in pure devotional service of Krishna, is the best. I am very dear to him and he is very dear to me. It's a clear, bold verdict of Krishna himself. So he likes all the four categories of people who are taking up devotional service, but he says the jnanis are dear to me, and they are also I am also dear to them. So it's like mutual reciprocation. So how do we understand this? The simple way is that, first of all these four categories have some material contamination, even though they have taken a decision to follow the path of pure devotional service, they are yet to be cleansed of material contamination. But Krishna appreciates the fact that they have chosen him to follow, not to any other demigods, for instance. So the three categories who are basically I mean, here Krishna is singling out the jnanis. So the remaining three categories of people, they can. What is their flaw? The flaw is that the Acharya's comment is that they practice bhakti all right, but there is a danger that once they get what they wanted, that means the desire of wealth, artharthi. Suppose if he gets wealth, then he may leave bhakti. Suppose the person who is in distress, artho, if his distress is solved by Krishna, then he may leave bhakti. Similarly, jigyasu, the person who is inquisitive, once he gets that knowledge, he may leave. He may think that he's ultimate. So that is the only contamination. They're following the proper path, but they may. That's a possibility. They may leave. Not that everybody will leave. They may leave. So therefore, their relationship with the Lord becomes more like a transactional approach. Oh Lord, I'm worshiping you. Can you kindly solve my problem? That's a transactional. It's not unconditional. Whereas a jnani is better of the three, remaining three, because a jnani has already experienced all this. Now he's come to a stage of like surrendering almost. And he's doing it out of his own free will, not to get anything in return. He now wants to go and understand the Lord and his energy even more. And maybe he rises to the level of Paramatma. Lord comes in the Paramatma form in his heart and is revealing more to him. So there is no material motivation. So that's why Krishna says that out of the four class of people who are taking up devotional service, I have a natural inclination towards jnani. And then he continues in verse 18. Udara sarva evayate jnani tva atmaveva me matam ashitah sahi yuktatma mam evanuttamam gatim. Of all these devotees, although all these devotees are undoubtedly magnanimous souls, but he who is situated in knowledge of me, that is jnanis, I consider him to be just like my own self. Being engaged in my transcendental service, he is sure to attain me, the highest and the most perfectional goal. So Krishna is further reiterating and re-emphasizing this point that no doubt all of them are great. He is at least giving us the acknowledgement. He's not saying that remaining three are fools, like he says for the Duskritino. They are saying they are fools. But here he says they are magnanimous. Because akama sarva kamava moksha kama udaridi tivrena bhakti yogena yajatam purusham param. Whether they have sakama, all desires, or they have no desires, they still come to me. That is what Krishna is acknowledging. So therefore, they are magnanimous. They had a choice to go to demigods also. Now see, Krishna loved the Pandavas because the Pandavas were dear. But then out of the Pandavas, Krishna loved specifically Arjuna even more. And Arjuna was very dear to him and he was very intimate to him. Arjuna could understand Krishna's mind. That is what Krishna is saying here. Being engaged in my transcendental service, he is sure to attain me the highest and the most perfect goal. So another analogy is that Krishna, the king appreciates all his law-abiding citizens. For him, as a king, he has to be impartial. He has to be neutral. So he will respect all the law-abiding citizens. But somehow he has a confidential secretary also. Always he has a confidential secretary. Because the confidential secretary is most intimate and loyal to him. He knows the king's mind and he tries to serve him with pure love as his very soul. That is the reason why Krishna says here in this verse that Udhara Sarva Evate Jnani. Out of all, he says that the Jnanis are more dear to me than anybody else. Okay. Then we go to the verse 19. And now he comes to this, he's hammering the nail on the head. This is a very, very famous and important verse. we all should put it on our dashboard, because this defines our situation and should also propel our desire to serve the Lord even more. Because bhakti seems to be easy, yet bhakti is so rare. Bahunam janmanamante. This verse 19 now, seventh canto, seventh chapter. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudevah sarvamiti sa mahatma su durlabha. Vasudeva sarvamiti. That is Vasudeva. Krishna is everything. To get this understanding is not only durlabha, it is su durlabha. Durlabha means rare. Su, adjectives attached to it, is very rare. Su durlabha. And what is durlabha? Jnanamam mam prapadyate. That is for such a knowledgeable jnani to surrender to me and to come to the conclusion that I, Krishna, I'm everything. That is very rare. Why it is rare? Because Bahunam Janmanam Ante. One has to take several lives and births. So after many, many births and death, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me. So now we are talking of surrendering. So when the devotional practice becomes intense, Gada jab ban jata hai, Bhakti Tivrena, at that time the real surrendering comes. We think that we are surrendering at this stage. No, devotees, we are not surrendered souls yet. We are just in the beginning stage of bhakti. We are just practicing. We have understood a path of bhakti. And we know that this path chosen is the right path for attaining perfection. हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन. That is there in our conviction is there. We know that Krishna is the cause of all causes. So that will take us. But Krishna says that after many, many such lifetimes, one will attain me and then he will surrender me. So Krishna, who is the original father, see, he began this entire chapter, if you remember, by saying that what was that verse? When I remember, I'll come back to it. So here, it's basically we are moving from bhajate to prapadyate. So he talked about the 4 category of people who do bhajan, that is devotional service. And from there, there's an evolution to prapadyate, that means to surrender. It's an evolution of consciousness. Why? Because such category of people, or Jnanavan, they understand that Vasudeva Sarvamiti. That means that Vasudeva is everything. Vasudeva is everything. There is no truth higher than Vasudeva. He is the ultimate. That is what they understand, the realization they get. And thus, they get the purification. And slowly and gradually they get elevated and the mind becomes completely fixed on the worship of Krishna, Krishna's lotus feet. See, if you see this way, that in Prahlad Maharaj's, Leela, both Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad Maharaj had their knowledge about Vishnu, correct? What was the difference between the two? The difference was Hiranyakashipu, despite having the knowledge, was not ready to surrender to Vishnu. And Prahlad Maharaj had the knowledge, so he surrendered to Vishnu. And if you see, when Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad that, where is your Vishnu? Is he here? Is he there? Is he in this pillar? I'll take out the sword and I'll smash this pillar. Is he present? If he's present in this pillar, he should come out of this pillar. So that means it's a sign of somebody who's not surrendered. Whereas what was Prahlad Maharaj's answer? Yes, he is there in this pillar also. Because he's fully surrendered, he knows that Vasudeva Sarvamiti. It's a rare soul. So that is the significance. And then when Hiranyakashipu smashed the pillar, he saw Vishnu coming out as Nrsimhadev avatar. So therefore, we can understand from this verse that Krishna is trying to emphasize the slow progression from one level of reality to the higher level of reality. Samatma so durlabha, very, very rare. So this such a soul is very, very rare. So this we have discussed. Basically, it's an evolution of consciousness from Duskritina, that is, people who are rejecting the authority of Krishna. At some, so they also have hopes. It's not that, if you're Duskritina, you will remain eternally Duskritina. No. By some causeless mercy, if they get the association of a pure soul, they can transcend from Duskritina to Sukritina. And once they come to Sukritina, they can slowly progress to the level of Jnani. And from there, they can become Mahatma. So it's basically a journey for all of us from a mixed devotion. Right now, we could be in a stage of mixed devotion where we understand that Krishna is everything, but still we go to him with all our even, it's like unalloyed devotion. We are going with all our material thoughts also. We are not surrendered soul, but we are going the right path. Slowly and steadily, we are climbing this path, and it is being made easy by the association with pure devotees like Prabhupada and Prabhupada's Vani and his disciples, the bona fide acharyas in our parampara. So this will lead to the purification of our heart through sadhu sangha and chanting Shravanam Kirtanam. The heart gets completely cleansed. And then we can go to the level of unalloyed Aituki Bhakti. Now we come to verse 20. So now the Krishna is explaining that there are another category of people who are neither Duskritina nor they are Sukritina, but they are the people who don't worship me. They worship the demigods. So what is this? Verse is Kamaistaistairruta jnanaha prapadyante anya devataha tam niyamam asthaya prakritya niyataha swaya. So here Krishna is saying that there are some category of people who are worshipping the demigods. So who are these demigods? Demigods are like you have a prime minister and you have council of ministers, right? So prime minister is completely controlling the council of ministers. The council of the ministers below the prime minister have got various departments to manage. For example, somebody will be the minister for irrigation. Somebody will be minister for sports. Somebody will be minister for health. Somebody will be the minister for defense. But these ministers will not encroach into each other's responsibilities. Ultimately, the prime minister has assigned them to do this particular the role, and in that they will perform their role. So, for instance, the minister for irrigation will take care of all the water supply department and all that. He will take care of that. He will not be concerned about what's happening in defense or what's happening in the Ministry of Forestry, etc., or sports. No, that's not his concern. They're specific. So if I have a problem for this, I go to that person, like that. So similarly, Krishna has empowered several supreme personalities, and they are called as demigods. Demi, they have got some power. They are empowered souls. So Krishna says that Kamestatair Hrita Jnana. What does it mean? Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires, they surrender unto demigods. What an important lesson for all of us. Most of us were worshippers of demigods before we came to Krishna consciousness. Correct or not? At least I was worshipping. I don't know about others, but some are fortunate to be born in a Vaishnava family, like Sri Vaishnava or Gaudiya Vaishnava. So they are already, following Vishnu worship from birth. But some of us have been trained to worship demigods. Different demigods for different purposes. Like you worship Goddess Saraswati for education. You worship, you pray to Sun God for health. So like that, different aspects are Ganesha for intelligence and removing of the obstacles. But Krishna is now saying boldly here, those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires, surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations. Tam tam niyamam astaya prakritya niyataha swaya. That means depending upon in which modes they are situated, mode of ignorance, mode of passion, and mode of goodness, they choose a particular demigod and then they start worshipping. Now, this worship is not wrong per se, because it is there in our scriptures. Our Vedas are prescribing. So that's the beauty of our Sanatana Dharma. It is giving different paths. You can follow this path also, but it's a slow process. It's like climbing the steps to get to the ultimate destination. Ultimate destination is to go back home, back to Godhead, to be free from the birth, death, old age cycle. So that goal cannot be fulfilled by the demigods because they themselves are bound in this material universe. They are situated in heavenly planets. And dear devotees, these heavenly planets are situated above the Bhuloka. We are in Bhuloka. Boho, Bhor, Bwaha, Swaha. So the heavenly planets are above that. Sattaru, Sat, Savitru, Varenyam. So then one by one they go. It's upper planets. So they are upstairs. They are upstairs. But they are all in this material universe only. So when there is a final pralaya or annihilation, all the planets gets destroyed, all, including the planets of demigods. But they have got a bigger lifespan compared to we humans. Much bigger lifespan. Much bigger lifespan. You can't even think. In fact, our 6 months is equivalent to their 1 day, and our next 6 months of the year is their 1 night. So you can see our entire year is their cycle of a day and night. That is their lifespan. So like that, they live for 100 celestial years. So it is mind-boggling, isn't it? But yet, so they will be able to give us the benediction of what we need, because they are empowered for that. You pray to Goddess Saraswati for education, you will get good education. But that is not the ultimate goal of human life. And similarly, every demigod worship may have certain rules and regulations. So Krishna says that they follow that according to their relevant nature. Niyata Swaya, their own nature. And then they worship. Nemam Astaya. They do that also. So they're guided and compelled to do that. So people, in general, to be understood, people who want a lavish material life, very opulent life, they're either situated in the mode of goodness, passion, or even ignorance. They worship demigods. But their knowledge or intelligence has been stolen by these material desires. These material desires are overriding their ultimate goal. And in fact, some of these materialist people might be even meat eaters. That's also approved. Like somebody might be in the lower modes, meat eating is approved. Like they may offer meat to Kali, goddess Kali, and then they may eat the mamsa. That is approved. Similarly, offering bhang to Lord Shiva is also approved. It's also allowed. So there is something called as concession. There is something called as recommendation, and there is something called as instruction. Concession is something that, okay, you cannot do that. Okay, do this at least. At least you'll begin your devotional, instead of being completely, non-devotional. Somewhere you start. So then there are some recommendations. You do this, the karma kandis. They follow certain regulations. You do that, and so on. There are some instructions to do this, to do that. So Prabhupada is very clear. He says that when people say that all gods are one, it is not correct statement. All gods are not one. Here clearly you can see that there's a difference. And Krishna has created this. It's Krishna's, Lord Krishna's own statement. He's differentiating here clearly in this particular verse. He says there are different gods. Suppose if all of them are one, then there can be, they should all compete with the Supreme Lord, no? And not amongst one another Devatas. Why there are so many Devatas then? So each one has got certain role, and they are like council of ministers, and there's a supreme prime minister, and that supreme is Krishna. So this is our problem. We are voluntarily choosing to detour. Our goal is straight ahead, and because our knowledge, our intelligence has been stolen by, we see low hanging fruits and we get attracted. Oh, let me go here, and then we detour. And then our path becomes longer and longer. We have to take several more lifetime to again come back to the main road. That is the problem. That's our flaw. So what Krishna says here, this is actually a statement from Bhagavatam. He says that Bhagavatam 4th canto. It says, Yata taror moola nischanena tripyanti tatskanda bujo pashakaha prano paracha sayatendriyanam tateva sarvaharanamachyutejya. That means, as this is the tree analogy, the tree has got roots, the tree has got nice flowers, I mean, it's got branches, sub branches, twigs, and then there are finally flowers. So for this tree to grow well, an intelligent person will, where will he pour water? He will pour water to the roots. Moola. Taror moola means the root of the tree. When you pour water in the roots, the entire tree gets nourishment, isn't it? On the other hand, if I start watering each and every leaf and branches and twigs, is it considered to be intelligence or is it foolishness? It is foolishness, dear devotees. Is it not? So similarly, worshipping demigods is considered to be like that. See, if you are feeling hungry, you will feed your stomach. Automatically, the remaining parts of your body, like hands and limbs, will get nourishment. There is no way separately you need to give nourishment to your fingers and your hands and legs. That's not the right way. That's what it says. So two analogies are given here in the Bhagavatam verse. Yata taror moola nischenena tripyantis tatskanda. That means when you water the roots, automatically skanda and bhujo upashaka. That means the branches and the sub branches, they get nourishment. And similarly, another analogy given is prano upacharaha. So yatendriyanan. Automatically, when you give nourishment to your stomach, tateva sarvaham achyuteja. That means all your senses, yatendriya, will get satisfied. So when you water the roots of bhakti, that is when you worship Krishna, automatically the demigods also get nourishment. They get satisfied. That is the meaning of this. We come to verse 21. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddayarchitam ichchati tasya chalam shraddham tam eva vidadhamyaham. So here Krishna is saying that I am in everyone's heart as a super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigods, so Krishna immediately catches that. So that if that heart says that I have to worship this particular deity of demigods, Krishna is sitting as Paramatma in our heart. He immediately catches that. Then what he says, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. So he doesn't come in our way. Shraddha architum ichchati. So Shraddha architum means basically you can Shraddha and architum. That means if my Shraddha is to do worship, ichchati, some other if I desire to do worship of some other demigods, that immediately Krishna comes to know, because he's sitting in our heart as Paramatma. And then he makes our faith steady to worship that particular demigod. That's what and then he gives the faith and results to them. So in other words, how do you understand the mechanics here? Cosmic administration. You have the triangle of Supreme Lord on one side on the top, and then the worshipper, and then there is a demigod. So if you worship the demigods or you pray to demigods, and then demigods will relay your problems to the Supreme, and then they will basically get empowered, and then they will grant us the worshipper the benediction. So आपका काम हो जाता है. But if you worship directly the Supreme Lord, that also will do the same job. But Krishna will be choosy. See, here demigods will offer you whatever you ask. They will not even blink their eye. If you say, oh, my, oh, goddess Uma, I want to have the most beautiful wife in this planet. So Uma will give you the benediction, and maybe who knows, you will get married to Miss Universe. But the same prayer, if you give to Supreme Lord, he may think that if I give you the most beautiful wife, maybe it will be a hindrance for you in your bhakti. You will not come to me eventually. I'll give you what is good for you to come to me. So, in other words, the worshipper will ask Krishna, if you so desire, can you fulfill this wish of mine? If you so desire. So, in other words, I have a desire, and Krishna, but if you so desire, can you fulfill? Then Krishna will say, no, I don't desire, because you have given the baton to him. So he will say, no, this is not good for you. So that's why sometimes we find that our desires are not fulfilled. That's a good sign if it is coming to a worshipper of Krishna. But the same worshipper, if he's asking for that same desire with demigod, the demigod cannot reject. For example, if somebody prays to Lord Shiva, Shiva is known to be Ashutosh. Ashutosh is somebody who gets easily pleased. And he will immediately bestow it. Somebody who prays to Brahma, he will immediately be pleased and he will bestow. Hiranyakashipu prayed to Brahma. I want to be the most powerful person. I should not be defeated by anybody, any human being or animal in this planet. I should not be killed by any weapons. I should not be killed in the day. I should not be killed in the night. I should not be killed in water. I should not be killed in, on land. All those things he prayed, and Tathastu, Brahma gave him, everything. Similarly, Ravana was a Shiv Bhakta. He prayed for all his strength and power. That's why they say that he had the power of 10 Dasharath. He could conquer the 10 different places, regions, 10 directions. Ravana was very powerful. So the point here is that when you worship demigods, you get all that. But what is the problem is that it's all basically not good in the long run. Because it is coming through Krishna only. It is not intelligent proposal. So Krishna here says that, reiterates in verse 22. He says, Sa taya shraddaya yuktas tasyaradhanam ahite labate cha tatah kaman mayeva vihitan hitan. What is the meaning of that? He says, endowed with such faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires. That means such a worshipper gets what he wants by worshipping the demigods, but in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. So this is very clear. The demigods are also dependent upon Krishna only. They are not independent. Whereas Krishna is completely independent. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate. I am the source of everything, material and spiritual. So Krishna is not a jealous God. He is a zealous God. That's the way one can easily understand. Krishna is not telling you, don't go to this God or that God. He is not stopping you. He's not stopping us. But he's cautioning us. He's cautioning us. So that is the importance we understand when you worship the Lord. Finally, we come to the last verse of the day. It is verse 23. This is really hitting the nail on the head. Because here Krishna says that whatever you get from the demigods are perishable, because the demigods themselves have a lifespan. So hence they are temporary and it is not intelligent proposal. Antavatfu tu phalam tesham tad bhavati alpamedasham devan deva yajo yanti madbhakta yanti mam api. What does it mean? Men of small intelligence, alpamedasam, worship the demigods and their fruits are limited. Antavattu phalam tesham. The fruits are limited, the phalam is limited and temporary. It has got an end. Deva and Devo Yajoyanti. Those who worship demigods go to their planets. But the person who worships me, Mad Bhakta Yanti Mamapi. But my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planets. See, Krishna is giving us a direct guarantee. What more we want? We are hearing from the lotus mouth of the Creator himself. He says, you can still go to them. You will get all the results, but they're temporary. So it's not an intelligent proposals. Because demigods are parts and parcels of the Lord. So the intelligent person should know that. And therefore, we should refrain from going to. You can respect demigods. See, we now here, we have to clearly understand a Krishna Bhakta will not show disrespect to demigods. No. Because they are, after all, superior beings. They are at a higher level compared to human beings. So, if you are passing by and there's a demigod temple, do pray. But what you will pray? You will pray that, oh Lord Ganesha, oh Lord Shivji, oh Lord Brahmaji, whatever. Please give me bhakti so that I'm able to serve my Ishtadev, Lord Krishna, to his satisfaction. That is the prayer. And then demigods also will pray for you in that. So that is the advantage. That is what Krishna is saying here. Okay. So in summarizing this particular verse of 23, worship of demigods is alpamedasam. It is driven by material desires, kama, and the result is temporary, perishable, and the destination is the demigod's planet. Yanti deva vrta devan, pitrin yanti pitra vrataha. That is for demigods worshippers, they'll go to demigods. And if you worship your forefathers, you'll go to the planets of forefathers. Bhutani yanti bhuteja. If you worship ghosts, you'll go to ghost planets. But Krishna says, yanti mad yajino apimam. So the one who worships Krishna is Mad Bhakta, my devotees. He is driven only by bhakti, and that bhakti is nothing but pure love to Krishna, unconditional, unmotivated, abhyayam. So that result which you get is permanent, anutam. Complete worship is pure, and the destination is Goloka. That is where our train is heading. As a family, we want to go into that highest destination, which is above all these material universe planets. All these planets, dear devotees, whatever we are seeing floating above Earth planets, they all look very opulent. They have a long lifespan compared to us, but they will all be perished when the annihilation comes. Whereas Krishna says, that supreme abode of mine is not illumined by sun or moon, nor by fire. Those who reach there never return to this material world. Yat katvana nivartante. That is Taddama Paramam Mama. So therefore, there's a 3-point formula we should adopt. You have to choose the eternal by recognizing what is your material desires which is fracturing your focus. Just recognize that. Identify it. And once you identify, apply the intelligence of Gajendra to pray only to Supreme Lord at all times. And third is, water the root, that is Taror Mula of the tree, through pure devotional service, association of devotees. And this will clearly help us, because the scriptures are telling us that Krishna is clearly saying is Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyate Characharam. That means he is ultimately everything is under his control. He is the original seed giving father. Ham bija pradapita sarva yonashi kauntaya ham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate. iti matva bhajante mam bhuta bhava samanmita. So we knowing that, why we cannot surrender to him? Matta parataram nyanyat. We learned this already in the seventh chapter, seventh verse. Kinchid asti dhananjaya. So already he's saying there's none equal or superior to me. So all pointers Krishna has given us. So therefore, there is no reason why we should not surrender him with all our hearts. So for us, in the practical application, Krishna has come in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and further reiterated to pick all of us from this very horrible situation. And we are like, going down and down like a quicksand in Kali Yuga, and he is giving the helping hand. Krishna Varnam, Trisha, Krishna Varnam, Tusha Krishnam, Sango Pangastra Parshadam. He is come with all his associates, all his Sangha. Yagne Sankirtana prior, Jajanti he Sumedesha. So this intelligent people in Kali Yuga, they will do Yagne Sankirtana prior, Jajanti. They'll worship the Supreme Lord in the form of worshipping his holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then they become very, very rare Mahatmas. They'll go back home, back to Godhead, because surrendering, nourishes. So surrendering means hearing and chanting enters our heart from the ears. It creates a natural likening towards the Lord. We surrender even more, and that increased surrender creates detachment to the material world. There's no need to artificially impose any detachment. It happens naturally because our attachment to the Lord's lotus feet is increasing with every time we hear. And that sparks our devotional service, and our Bhakti Lata Beej will grow. And just like how a hungry person, like Jiva Goswami says in Bhagavatam, a hungry person, you give him a morsel of food, tushti, pushti, shuddhapayo. All his hunger will be eradicated, he'll be satisfied, and he'll also be nourished. So bhakti gives more bhakti. Bhakti gives parishanubhava, gives experience, and bhakti automatically gives us virakti. That is natural detachment. These three things happens simultaneously. And therefore, Krishna says that surrender unto me, a person who has broader intelligence, whether be in full of all material desires, or that is akama sarva kamova moksha kama udaridi tivrena bhakti yogena yazdam purusham param. That is the ultimate lesson. So chant Hare Krishna and be happy. So that's the end. And we'll quickly do our quiz now. Let me load the quiz questions for your benefit. One second. Okay. Our usual rules apply. Correct questions get 50 brownie points. Wrong question gets minus 50 points. The first question comes up on your screen. The Duskritanas or miscreants do not surrender to the Lord because they are foolish, they are lowest among mankind. Just one second. They are atheists by nature. Their knowledge is stolen by Maya. All of the above. Yes, who wants to answer it? Yes, Ramesh.
Ramesh is raised hands.
Yes, please go ahead, Ramesh.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Please don't put it on the chat, Sumati.
Yeah. The answer should be through raise of hands, and then it has to be only that will be counted. Nothing should be put on the chat. Yes, Ramesh, go ahead.
B for Bangalore.
B for Bangalore. That is, they are lowest among mankind, correct?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, let us see what is the answer. The correct answer is E, because in that verse, Krishna says that Muda, these people do not surrender. Naradama, lowest among mankind. Then Asuri Bhav, atheist. And Maya, Maya Jnana Apartha, that is, knowledge is stolen by Maya. So all of them are applicable. So therefore, Ramesh, the correct answer should have been all of the above. Okay? The correct answer should
In
have been
fact, Sumati has got it right because Sumati Mataji has put it in the chat as E.
We can't consider that, unfortunately, Sumati Mataji. Next time, what you can do is you can raise your hand and then we'll give her a chance to answer. Okay?
Well done, but better luck next time.
Yes. So now let's go to the next question. The next question is Sukritinas render devotional service unto Krishna because they may have health or family problems. They may want to become rich. They may want to seek answers for their queries. They want to know the greatness of Krishna. None of the above. And there's one more, all of the above. So Abhijit has raised. Who else has raised?
Only Abhijit.
Only Abhijit. Yes, Sumati also has raised. Sumati
Yes.
Mataji, so maybe we'll give her a chance this time because she took courage to answer the earlier
Correct.
one and she missed the
Yes.
opportunity. So now we'll give her a chance. Yes, Sumati Mataji, you can go ahead.
Yeah, it's F.
So echo coming. Did you say F?
Yeah.
Okay. Let us see what the answer is. It indeed is F. Very good.
Fantastic.
50 points. Fantastic. Very good. Keep it up. Because as we know, Chaturvida Bhajante Mam Jnana. So Bhajante Mam Jnana Sukritun Arjuna. Artho means family, any problems. So I've just given an example of health family problems. Jigyasu, they want to seek answers to the queries. Artha, they want to have wealth, the rich. And then also Jnani. Jnani wants to know the greatness of Krishna. So all of the above is the right answer. Then we go to the third question.
Abhijit, you must hold on because he had raised the hand first. So
Who?
try and make it up now.
Abhijit. Huh?
Yes.
Okay. Prabhu, there's an echo coming from your side.
My side.
Now it is gone. Now it is gone. I think somebody else's mic was probably on. The echo was gone. Yeah. Now it is gone. Okay.
Krishna
Now
Mohan
third question.
Prabhu has raised his hand even before you show the answer.
Who?
Krishna Mohan Prabhu. And Srinidhi.
Oh. Okay. Let us see now who all are there. Out of the four Sukritinas, Krishna is more close to distressed, inquisitive, seeker of wealth, seeker of knowledge, none of the above. Yes. So whom should we give a chance now?
If you go strictly by who raised it first, it goes to Krishna Mohan.
Okay.
Srinidhi was very close behind. And Saptadeep also raised. So we'll
Okay.
give it
So
to Krishna
then,
Mohan Prabhu this time.
so should we give it to Krishna Mohan Prabhu then?
Yes.
Yes, Krishna Mohan Prabhu, please come on the video and give us your darshan also.
Sorry, can't open my video right now because
Okay.
there is some.
Okay.
But the
What is the
answer
answer?
is B. B.
D.
B. B.
D for
Inquisitive.
Delhi.
Yes.
Inquisitive.
B.
Okay. Out of the four Sukritas, Krishna is more close to distress. Okay. You're saying inquisitive, right? B.
B.
Let us see. Sure. Shall I lock it?
B. 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 B for Bombay.
B for Balram.
Bombay. Yes.
Okay.
Jigyasu.
Okay. Let us see the correct answer. The correct answer is D. D for
No.
seeker of knowledge. That is Jnani. Because what does Krishna say? Chaturbhuja bhajante mam jnana sukritano Arjuna. So he's basically, no, not, see in next verse, he says that I am
Next
more
verse.
close to the jnani than to, so he says all the four category are magnanimous, but I am more close to the jnani. He says that very clearly.
I was thinking about Jigyasu.
No. Jigyasu are the people who are inquisitive to just know more. But jnanis are the people who are seekers of knowledge.
Yes,
And Krishna
Prabhuji.
specifically says jnani.
Yes, Prabhuji. Got it.
Okay? ठीक है.
Got it.
So now we'll go to the fourth question. Right. Now, after many births, Jnanavan surrenders to whom? Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma. This should be easy for everyone. Goddess Durga, Lord Ganesha, none of the above. Yes, whom should we give, Prabhu? I didn't see. Was it Srinidhi who raised first?
All of them almost raised their hands together, but Abhijit had lost it in the earlier round. So we should give it to Abhijit.
Okay. Yes, Abhijit, please go ahead.
Prabhu, the answer is E, none of the above.
E, none of the above, you said?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Let us see what the answer is. Yes. The answer is indeed E. Good. Well done.
Patient space.
Yeah. Bhavanam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarmat Samatma Durlabha. So he's saying none of these actually, which is correct. Okay. So it should have been Krishna, but Krishna is not there in the multiple choice. So therefore, it is E. We go to the last question of the day. That is, people who worship demigods are considered less intelligent because demigods' benediction is temporary. Such a worship is also direct worship of Krishna only. Demigods give whatever the worshipper asks for. They are scared that Krishna might not approve their benediction. None of the above. Yes, did I see Krishna Mohan Prabhu raising his hand again?
Yes.
Okay. Only one hand. Sumati Mataji
No,
also has
Sumati also has
raised.
raised.
Okay, two hands, but Krishna Mohan Prabhu probably has a chance to redeem now.
Yes, because he made a mistake in the earlier round.
Yes. Yes, Krishna Mohan Prabhu. ये मौका आपका है.
Chauka marna.
B, Prabhuji, such a worship is a direct worship of Krishna. Matlab, people of worship demigods considered less intelligent because such a B is the matlab, such a worship is the also direct worship of the Krishna only. Matlab, और
हाँ बोलिए.
हाँ B है प्रभु जी B.
Okay. B means such a worship is also direct worship of Krishna only.
Are you sure?
नहीं I am प्रभु जी थोड़ा सा समझने में confusion हो रहा है people.
So आप क्वेश्चन पढ़िए. People who worship demigods are considered less intelligent because
Less intelligent.
हाँ. Less intelligent because नहीं ये आंसर नहीं है प्रभु जी. They are scared Krishna might be benediction. None of above है प्रभु जी इसमें तो फिर.
None of the above.
Yes प्रभु जी.
Okay, shall I lock it now?
Yes प्रभु
So
जी.
you change from B to E, ना?
Yes प्रभु जी.
Okay. और एक बार सोचना है क्या आपको? कि लॉक कर दो?
लॉक कर दो प्रभु जी.
Okay. The correct answer is A. Because here we are asking why they're less intelligent, because they're worshipping something to ask, but they become less intelligent because what they get in return, benediction जो मिलता है ना, वो temporary nature का है. तो the second point B जो है, एक तो वो रूल्ड आउट है बिकॉज इट इज नॉट डायरेक्ट वर्शिप ऑफ कृष्णा, वो तो इनडायरेक्ट
हाँ,
वर्शिप हो
direct
गया
worship
कृष्णा
होता
का. सी गेट्स रूल्ड आउट बिकॉज उनको तो मिलता है, तो वो लेस इंटेलिजेंट कैसा होगा, तो इंटेलिजेंट होना चाहिए. एंड तो डी तो रूल्ड आउट है बिकॉज ये सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होता है कि दे आर स्कैर्ड दैट कृष्णा माइट नॉट, कृष्णा तो अप्रूव करे. सो ए इज व्हाट दे गेट, बट दे आर लेस इंटेलिजेंट बिकॉज वो जो मिलता है वो टेम्परेरी नेचर का होता है प्रभु, वो
So we
परमानेंट
got it.
नेचर का नहीं होता है.
Got it, Prabhuji.
समझ
Sorry,
गया ना?
please forgive.
सॉरी प्रभु.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
हो सकता
For
है
my
the question
understanding.
was a bit tricky. I like to put tricky questions, पता नहीं क्यों, but if you think carefully आंसर मिल जाता है इसमें.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
थोड़ा वर्ड्स को प्ले करते हैं हम, लेकिन अदरवाइज ना एवरीबडी इट विल बी वेरी इजी केक वॉक. आई वांट टू मेक इट लिटिल बिट, थोड़ा सोचेंगे तो आंसर आ जाता है ना.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, never mind. What is important is you took the courage to participate in the session, and that is most important. हिम्मत है आपको participate किया, and hopefully in the next session you will make up for this. Okay, so now I'm giving this reflection point which I'll post in the group also, and this is: the danger and distress in the material world often serves as the greatest catalyst for spiritual awakening, provided one is pious. So first of all, you have to say whether you agree to the statement or not. And if you agree or disagree, please reflect upon this statement with a real life example of your own situation that you may have encountered, and prove or disprove it. Okay. So this is the reflection question. I'll post it in the group, and hope the question is clear, right? इसमें कोई ambiguity तो नहीं है ना? Okay. Okay, so thank you all for participating, and sorry we went well over time, but that's the nature of, I think we covered 9 verses today, actually. 9 verses till 23 we covered. So that was a lot of verses we covered, and we did that because the chapter is ending by next session. Otherwise it would have been one extra session only for 2 or 3 verses, which would be uncomfortable for either of us. So we divided that. So hopefully the next session we can cover and finish this chapter. Thank you all for joining in. And first of all, for agreeing for this Sunday session, which was, some of you may not have liked it. That's why few people were supporting the Saturday timings only. But we are helpless because we wanted to accommodate and not interfere in Arjun Saka's channel, which we were using for our sessions also. Okay, so have a nice day, a good weekend today. Probably the weekend is over for you in India, and let's begin the next week with a complete immersing ourselves in bhakti, at the same time doing our duties in complete Krishna consciousness. Thank you everybody once again for participating. See you all next week. Probably it will be same channel and same time in the same channel. Okay. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Gurudev ki jai. Thai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
very much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Great, wonderful class.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you.